No, because, Skip, I don't really think it's that simple. And I love what Nate McMillan said, Skip. He didn't do all that hyperbole. He's the best point guard in the game. Because we see that a lot of time with coaches, Skip. They got to play, have a good game, and he's the best in the game. He said, no. He has the skill set of all the top players have.
He did.
He has no weakness in his offensive game. He's one of the better players. He didn't go all the way. He's the best point guard. With that being said, Skip, Trae Young was spectacular. He got it going early, and he kept it going throughout the entirety of the game. But when you look at what he got, Skip, he got 23 and 15 from John Collins. He got 12 and 19 from Clint Capella. He got another 13 from Herter. So his supporting...
Wait, say that again. He got 19 rebounds from Clint Capella.
That's what Capella does. But it's the 23 and 15 from John Collins.
Huge.
So,
agreed.
And they out-rebounded him again. So you get, 34 rebounds from two guys. And Trae Young is doing what he does. Again, 48 and 11, Skip, 72 points, the most ever in a divisional or conference finals game. That speaks volume to what they're doing.
I'd say.
But the difference in the ball game, Skip, it wasn't, Trae outplaying Giannis. Chris Middleton had a dud again, Skip. 6 of 23, 2 of 11 in the second half. He had 6 points in the second half. He was 0 for what? 0 for 7, 0 for 9? 0 for 9 from the three-point line. Skip, you can't do that. He is their second best player. Skip, he is this all-star. He's the guy that's going to represent America in the Olympics. And he put up a game like this? You can't have that. Holiday was sensational offensively.
He was.
But, Skip, Trae had his way with him on the defensive end.
He did.
Yeah, I did not see this coming. Anybody that says, well, they saw this coming, they're lying. True Holiday is as good as we got as on-ball defender.
He is.
And Trae Young went and got 48. He gave it to him. He gave it to Middleton. Whomever.
He did.
Skip, I think Bud's going to have to do something. He's going to have to make a decision. I understand that Brook Lopez has been a valuable piece for the regular season. But, Skip, he's giving you nothing in the playoffs. He's sinking too far into the lane, and he's letting Trae Young get in the head of steam, and he can't stop that floater. Or he's sunk so deep is that why you think Trae had an opportunity to shimmy on him and hit that three?
And by the way, he's got to give you 3 or 4 threes because that's what he does, and he was 1 of 4. So that's not good enough, okay?
And then what did he give you on the rebounding tip, Skip?
2?
I was giving the man 7 foot tall.
7 foot tall. And remember, his team led the East in rebounding, and they got crushed on the board.
They got beat on the boards. Yep. So with that being said, Skip, I thought Giannis was unbelievable, Skip. He did what we asked him to do. Giannis, stop shooting all those threes. He shot 1 in the first minute of the game. He shot 1 at the end of the half. So he only attempted 2 threes. Everything else, Skip, 20 of his 25 shots came within the paint. And down the stretch, the last 5.5 minutes, he's 5 of 5, 12 points. And he did, Paul George, you got 24 hours to respond to Giannis going 2 for 2 when it mattered the most on the free throw line. You got to respond tonight, Paul George. We're going to be watching. So for me, Skip, I thought the difference in the ball game is that Middleton, the supporting cast, Holiday gave you 33. Giannis gave you 33. Almost a triple-double. He's 1 assist away from a triple-double. But Chris Middleton, 6 of 23, 15 points, 6 in the second half, that won't get it done. And somebody's going to have to explain something to me. Why in the hell they keep shooting all these threes? Skip, I get it. In the regular season, they were a good three-point shooting team. They shot 39%. But in the playoffs, this is the 3rd round of the playoffs, they're shooting 30%. When you got 70 points in the paint, you can get in the paint at will. And you still jacking up 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. At some point in time, Bud, you know what, just pull them aside and say, look here, guys, I know what we did in the regular season, but right now we can't seem to find our stroke. Let's get the ball down in the paint. Let's punish him down in the paint. Giannis can get to the rim anytime he wants to. Holiday's getting to the rim whenever he wants to. Stop jacking up all these threes, because you jack up these threes, you allowed Atlanta to hang around. They caught fire in the second half, and they ended up beating you. But, Skip, I don't really think it was as simple as Trae doing a number on Giannis, because Giannis did what we thought he would do. I think you had his stat line at 35 and 12. I had it at 30 and 12, and he gave us 33 and 12 and 9. So he was sensational. But Trae Young, Skip, that guy, he going on you. You liking him now? Like, yeah, you liking him now.
I will admit that this little man who stopped growing very early in his life is growing on me by the game, because he's growing through the Eastern Conference Finals. And now that they have a leg up for the 3rd straight series, they're only the 4th team in the history of this league to go on the road and win a game one. Remember, they've been the lower seed every round. They were low. They were the 5-4 Knicks, right?
5 to the 1.
And then 5 to the 1 and 5 to the 3.
Yep.
Now, and they went on the road and won 3 straight games. And yet, before I launch all that I am going to say, allow me to say from a distance, these playoffs just get greater and greater every night. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I do not miss LeBron James. I don't miss him. And again, I love talking about LeBron on a daily basis. We've probably talked about LeBron more than anybody on TV has over the last 5 years. But the point is that like a star was born last night.
Yes, Skip. Woo. You get to see a Trae Young that you wouldn't normally see. You getting to see a Devin Booker. You getting to see guys make name for themselves.
And I'm going to frame this by telling you that Trae Young played one game and only one game against Milwaukee during this past regular season, and it came on April the 15th, and it was at State Farm in Atlanta. And in that game, Trae Young shot 3 of 17 and 0 of 3 from the three-point line, and they lost. Well, you know, again, we just got the flip side of that because we got 48 points on, what was he, 17 of 34?
17 of 34.
Whew. Okay. Not a great three-point shooting night because he's not a great three-point shooter, 4 of 13. But back to Jenny's question, I believe that in the end, for all the things, and every point you made was valid, but in the end, down the stretch, the difference in the game was that little David slayed Goliath. That's just to me. I think Trae Young outplayed Giannis down the stretch of this game. What are you looking at?
I don't know, Skip.
Okay, well, I'm about to detail it for you. Because let's step back. If you look at the total fourth quarter output, Trae Young was 1 of 7 from the floor. 1 of 7. Really? Well, that's not very good.
No.
He was 0 of 4 from 3 in the fourth quarter. Yet we're saying a star is born in Milwaukee, right? And he was born last night, but let's count the ways. You got to look inside these numbers and go a little bit deeper to the next category over, which is free throw shooting. He made 9 of 10. And if somebody put Paul George on notice last night, it was not Giannis, it was Trae Young. So what happened? What did you see on your TV? You got a much better TV than I. I got to get mine fixed or upgraded or I don't know.
Well,
I'm waiting on a sale at somewhere, Best Buy, I guess, right? I got to get a color TV. But the point is, with 4:18 left in this basketball game, 4:18, the home team was up 7 points thanks to Drew Holiday 3. He made another 3. He was the only one shooting the basketball last night, right? He played well enough for them to win. Well, if I give the home team, who goes into the game as an 8-point favorite over the little Atlanta Hawks, if I give you a 7-point lead as an 8-point favorite at home with 4:18 left, what should happen?
I thought they were going to run.
Well, I mean, you got to slam the door, right? That game should be over. Instead, little Trae's Hawks went on an 18-8 run to close the game. 18-8. Okay, so let's see what happened over those last 4 minutes to the two superstars. I don't know if I'm going to go Trae superstar. Let's say the two stars on the court. Giannis went 2 of 2 from the floor because he dunked it twice. He had 2 dunks. He didn't make any shots or threes or jumpers or anything. He had 2 dunks. He went to the free throw line this one time, and guess what? He made both of them. You could argue he should have missed the second one because they were in jeopardy at that point of losing. But he did make his 2 free throws. So that's a grand total of 6 points. But he did not assert himself down the stretch to my eye. If he's that guy, if he's a 2-time MVP and the PER prince of this league, player efficiency rating, he just dominates it for years. If he's that guy, he takes over that game 1 at home when you're up 7. He's the one who slams the door. Give me the ball. Get out of my way. I'm going to do it one way or the other. I'm going to score on you or I'm going to free throw you right out of my gym. He was not able to do that. I did not see him demanding the ball enough because they kept resorting to shooting more and more, what you said, 3-point shots. I got it. Meanwhile, Trae Young down the stretch, last 4:18, starting down 7. He goes 1 of 4 from the floor. Well, that's not good enough, and 0 for 2 from 3. But he made 7 of 7 free throws.
Right.
He was the anti-Paul George, although Paul did, 56 seconds left, he made his first 2 at Phoenix, and then he missed his second 2. So the point is, Trae Young scored 9 points over the last 4:18 to 6 points for Giannis. That's the basketball game to me, that the little man upstaged the big man in his palace, in his arena. 9 to 6 over the last 4:18, and he did it mostly from the free throw line. You want to talk about clutch free throws? That's a whole bunch of clutch free throws, and 9 of 10, obviously, in the fourth quarter.
But, Skip, when you look at it, your 3 guys take about the same amount of shot. Giannis took 7, Middleton took 7, Holiday took 5.
You're talking about just in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Giannis was 5 of 7. Holiday was 3 of 5. Middleton was 2 of 7, 0 of 4. Skip, that's your second best player. So, because you think about, you said it, Trae Young was 1 of 7, 0 of 4 from 3. Basically, 9 of his 11 points came from the free throw line.
Okay. All right. So let's just, for those who might not have seen the whole game last night or whatever, let's look at the 6 shots that Trae missed in the fourth quarter on the night a star is born in Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals Game 1. Here's the first one. This is a floater that he misses. That was to go up 4. Then this is 6:08. He misses a 3 to go up 5. Then we got a 4:38 shot. This is to go up 1 from 3. Missed that one pretty badly. Then 3:01. He tries again and misses pretty badly to cut it to 1. Then we got a 1:52 shot. Another 3 is short. That's to cut it to 1. And then he missed a floater at 31 seconds left. But guess who? The 19 rebound man.
Yeah.
That put them actually ahead by a point because he cleaned up the mess.
And remember, there was another time, Skip, they got 3 offensive rebounds, and the ball ends up getting kicked to John Collins in the corner, who hit a 3.
Okay. And I give Trae high marks for this one. When they did fall behind by 7 with 4:18 left, he came right back with the one shot that he made. And it was a huge one at that moment. It's an 18-foot floater, if we could see it. And it's an and one. So they're down 7 right now. They're facing extinction, and he made it. And he kind of threw it up, and it accidentally went in. But no, I'll give him that. No,
that's his shot.
That's a shot. I agree.
That's his shot.
And he got rammed pretty hard. And he went and made the free throw. Well, all of a sudden, the 7 goes quickly back to 4, and you're like, okay, we got this. Then we got a Trae Young assist. And I got to talk about John Collins because listen, he is the most underrated player in the NBA because we just don't know him. He's just now on the stage where you say, oh, that's John Collins. And he doesn't have a name like Trae. It's like a cool name that you can do Ice Trae or, for me, Mice Trae or whatever. John Collins is just like ho and hum, right? John Collins. Listen, he was on Inside the NBA. I don't know if you turned back up the sound.
What do you hear me doing?
He lit it up, man. He blew me away. He was so entertaining. He was cool. You know, like he knew it. He knew it and he owned it. And I loved it. And I want to see more and hear more of John Collins because, to your point, 23 and 15, and then with 1:39 left, to cut it back to 1, let's watch this play that John Collins makes from the corner. This is Trae Young taking it inside. They can't keep him out of the lane. And he gets it over to his man, John Collins, and that's all money. And he said on Inside the NBA, he said, I was ready for it. I felt it. And he said, I love that corner over there.
Skip, you remember he hit a couple of those against the Sixers.
He hit a couple of them. They were huge. He plays bigger than 6'9" because he plays tall. He plays long.
He is. Atlanta's going to have to make a huge decision. It's going to be a huge investment for them, Skip, but they can't let this kid go. And the way he and Trae, Skip, off the glass, you don't try that. Skip, that's the Eastern Conference Final. And they try and one stuff that you tried the blacktop in an actual game.
Yeah, they said they toyed around with it in a preseason game.
Yeah, but that's one thing, Skip, just for to go to the NBA Finals.
I know, but the thing I do love, and I told you when I picked Atlanta in 6, the reason Trae Young is growing on me is not because of his three-point shooting, because it's pretty atrocious. Let's be honest with you.
It comes and goes.
It comes and goes. But his mid-range, it's an unorthodox mid-range, but he is becoming one of the best mid-range shooters. I know Devin Booker's in there, but mid-range shot makers, he's mastering the floater, right? Where if he gets inside you, which is easy for him to do, nobody can keep him out of the paint. If he gets on the edge or the elbows, the free throw line, just into maybe 10 feet, he will murder you with his floaters. Well, I call that mid-range game. So, and plus, I love his spunk. I love his spark. I love his spirit. I love his guts.
You love his swag.
I love his swag because maybe the turning point of this game came late in the third quarter. If we could see the shimmy shake that he gave it before he made this shot. Here's the shimmy shot because they completely blew. Portis is way late to come out.
Too late. You can't sink that late, Portis. Look what Collins is. Why are you down there? Look what Collins is.
I don't know. And have you ever seen anybody shimmy before they shoot a three? No. I'd never seen it before. So this little man has such guts and gumption and grit that he loves to go on the road. And even though he's not a very good three-point shooter, he knew he had to make. If you're going to shimmy, you better make that one. Yeah. Because if you don't, you are going to be the object of ridicule for the rest of the game in that arena.
I'm not so sure before that shot they had the Bucks' attention.
I don't either. I agree.
He hit that shot.
I agree.
He had their undivided attention because they showed to the camera and they showed Giannis is yelling and screaming. This man shimmying on us.
Yeah, could we? I think we have that. We've got Giannis over in the sideline huddle. Reggie Miller made a point of it. And Giannis is over there doing it.
Yeah, he's shimmying on us.
He's shimmying on us. Are we going to take this? Yeah, you did.
You got no choice.
You did. He backed it up. He kept on keeping on. And this team... look what they've done under Nate McMillan. Remember, Nate McMillan takes over their 14-20 on March the 1st. Think about that. They're 14. That's how they wound up a fifth seed.
Fifth seed, correct.
Since Nate took over, in games of 5 points or fewer, they're 13-2. So they're winning not all of them, but they're winning the majority of the close games. And they did it again last night.
The difference between now and 80s and 90s basketball, had Trae Young done that?
Yep.
The next time he got the ball, you talk about a foul so hard.
Well, and I'm surprised we don't see a little more of that, but he's tough.
Yeah.
And he's stronger than you think he is. He doesn't, I don't know, he looks fairly well put together.
Skip, he can't be no more than 5'11", 170 pounds, if that.
Maybe. But he plays pretty strong for his height.
Skip, he's got such good handles. And because he has the three, Skip, even though he's not a 40% shooter from the three like Steph, he can make enough of them that you're fearful. Now, what he did is he did a couple early. So now we got to hug up on him, Skip. And so now you hug up on him, what does he do? He dribbles and he goes around your night, gets the floater. Now you come over to try to take the floater away. He lobbed it to John Collins. He lobbed it to Clint Capella.
He does.
So how do we defend him? You just got to hope he's having an off day. Because if he hits a couple of threes early, now he starts to get around you. You at his mercy because that floater is money.
It's money. I would agree. So what's not money to me is the Bucks' belief in Giannis. I don't look. I've told you again and again. He played very well in Game 7 at Nets.
Yes.
But I don't trust him the way I'm starting to trust Trae Young in these bigger moments. I don't think his team trusts him. I don't think his team trusts it. And what happened down the stretch? I think we have the Connaughton shot. Connaughton made 3 huge threes at Brooklyn on Saturday night, 3 huge ones. And what did he do at the end of this game? It's a 23-second left shot.
But Skip, you can get a better shot than this.
Well, I don't know. It's fairly wide open, and it hit nothing but air. That must have missed like 3 feet left. I thought he was pretty good, right? And then your all-star, here we go again. We'll try it one more time. Can you make that one? No, it's about 3 feet wide left. And then at the buzzer, we get your other all-star, Chris Middleton, who is 0 for 8 at that point, trying one more time to do this.
It's online, but it's short.
It's online, but it's short. I think that was Solomon Hill who bothered him. Yeah. Remember Solomon Hill? Remember what he did?
Unfortunately, I do.
Yes. I wonder if Lagon remembers Solomon Hill. I think he does.
Yes, but he did a good job, Skip, because a lot of times we see guys, what do? They end up hitting the guy side the head. That's 3 shots.
He didn't do that, but I think he bothered that shot.
Yeah, he knew he was back there.
And so it comes down to your all-star going 0 for 9 because that was your 9th miss, and that was to tie it at the buzzer. And the Atlanta Hawks, your Atlanta Hawks, the team you betrayed, they are 1-0.
They 1-0
in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Skip, I always thought this would be a long series. I thought this was a 6 or 7 game series because I've been saying this all along. Atlanta, this is not an accident. They're here. I know people that, they just got lucky and beat the Knicks. Julius Randle didn't play well. Oh, they got lucky. Skip, you don't get lucky in 4 games. You beat somebody 4 times out of 7. It's not luck. It's not.
It's just not. And remember what they did to Philly in game 1 in the first half? They put up 74 points on them. Like Philly didn't see what hit them between the eyes. They weren't ready for that.
And then before you realize it, and this is the thing that the Bucks made, now you done gave them they believe they can beat you. They believe they can win this series now.
You got that
and
right.
That's why when you get a situation where you're the better team, you don't let them hang around, because the longer they hang around, the more confidence they're going to get.
Correct.
And Nate McMillan said, hey, guys, we can beat this team.
Okay. So I'll take Nate McMillan over Budenholzer any night.
Yeah.
Well, Budenholzer's on the clock now. He's on the hot seat. He better, maybe it's a Brook Lopez fix. Maybe it's a switch.
Yeah, I don't see a scenario in which he loses this series and maintains his job.
I agree. We said that about the Nets series.
Yes, he was on the hot seat, so he got his job for another 2 weeks.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.